You're listening to the Cantina Cast, your home for thought-provoking Star Wars talk. Join Albert and Jonesy in breaking down the latest news, trailers, movies, and of course, your favorite characters from a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cantina Cast. My name is Albert Padilla, and this is a spoiler-free review of the High Republic Wave 2 series of books. So, for Star Wars fans, May has traditionally been a month of celebration. Each year, we have May the 4th be with you on May 4th, along with all the other forced Star Wars days thereafter, all leading up until that sacred day of May 25th, the official birthday of Star Wars. This year, May brought an unexpected surprise in the form of some advanced reader copies of the High Republic Wave 2 books, The Rising Storm by Cavan Scott, Older's Race To Crashpoint Tower, and Justina Ireland's second High Republic entry, Out of the Shadows. Now, when the High Republic was first announced, what interested me the most was the prospect of Star Wars storytelling free to roam and without the weight or the attachment of the stories and characters that had come before it, right? And by before it, I mean the stuff that was all in the prequel and sequel in the original trilogy. And to be clear, I absolutely and unequivocally loved Wave 1 books and have equally been satisfied and surprised by the storytelling seen in the High Republic comics. But I have to say that the books in Wave 2 are just as good, if not better, than those in Wave 1. And is it fair, really, to compare Wave 1 to Wave 2? No, of course not. But I'm going to do it anyway. First up is The Rising Storm. In a word, wow. I loved the way Light of the Jedi ramped up the characters and story with a big payoff in the middle and end. But The Rising Storm takes a more familiar approach in how its story unravels, and that's not by any means a bad thing. Cavan Scott does a masterful job of not only feeding what's come before him in Wave 1, but then turning all of that on its head and challenging us as Star Wars fans in resetting our narrative expectations throughout the book. It's a liberty that most post-Disney writers only wish they could have had, and one that I don't think we've seen or felt, honestly, since the days of the EU. And The Rising Storm may just be my favorite Star Wars book to date, even as much as I loved Light of the Jedi. The characters we've already come to know and love are back, but seeing them in these new situations with interacting with new characters or interacting with characters they've never interacted with before is very reminiscent of how I felt seeing Luke, Leia, and Han and everybody else from the original Star Wars in The Empire Strikes Back when that was released. I even found myself fully vested in some of the new and minor characters that Scott created, and he had me like wondering, hoping, and even praying for what was in store and what was going to happen to them next. And maybe what I enjoyed most about The Rising Storm was just how it raises the stakes more than the previous books, and not just like once or twice, but several times throughout the novel. It all culminates in the final chapters, which honestly left me completely shell-shocked and had me wondering about where the High Republic even goes from here. Thankfully, we have Out of the Shadows for that, which takes place after the fallout from the Republic Fair. And the Republic Fair it kind of acts as the backdrop for both The Rising Storm and Race to Crashpoint Tower. So Out of the Shadows is honestly everything you loved about Test of Courage, but with the added bonus of Ireland being able to take more risks and ask more questions of us as readers when it comes to things like the Jedi or the Force and the relationships that people hold dear, right? Sure, it's a mid-grade novel, but in the end, you'll be asking yourself why that even matters, given how good the story is and just how perfect this is as a transition piece from The Rising Storm to the next wave of stories that we're going to see being told in the comics and novels following. And the final novel of Wave 2 is also a mid-grade novel. It's Daniel Jose Older's Race to Crashpoint Tower, which as the name implies, is a fast-paced and quick read, which stars a gearhead Jedi named Ram Jamaram, and you can't help but love and cheer this guy on throughout the entire novel. And by the way, can I just say that Older is killing it when it comes to Star Wars names? I mean, first he gave us Buckets of Blood, and now we have Ram Jamaram. I mean, both of these names are and always will be fun to say, so can't get enough of that. And I guess fun, honestly, is probably the best way and most sincere way to describe this book. You can see the smile in Older's face with every word and every sentence that it reads a lot like his comic book writing, but without the guardrails, and it's free of the confinement that kind of naturally comes with comic book storytelling. The result is a lighthearted tale for young and old that honestly reminds us that even the smallest acts can have big and lasting impacts, a message that feels more relevant today than ever before. So if you've listened to our show, it's probably no surprise that as much as I can enjoy the sequel trilogy, I've been pretty outspoken and critical about what felt like a lack of holistic planning and storytelling. And I have to say, there is none of that with the High Republic. Zero. Every character, every story, every event has a purpose. They have meaning, they have form and structure, and they've all been thoroughly thought out, and it shines with the Wave 2 books. I say what you will about the era itself, but no one can deny that if you're looking for some of the best storytelling in Star Wars that we've seen or read in some time, you don't need to look any further than what Michael Singlain and his team of authors have set out to do with the High Republic. That's going to do it for this spoiler-free review of Wave 2 of the High Republic. Hope you enjoyed this short show. And if you get a chance, please subscribe to the podcast if you're not already. Please consider donating to our Patreon page, where we are putting out even more content than we ever have before, and we're excited to do so. And just stay tuned, because we've got a lot more coverage of the High Republic as well as the Bad Batch and everything else that Star Wars has coming here in the weeks and months to come. And please be sure to join Jonesy and I live every Sunday, for the most part, at 9 p.m. Central for our weekly podcast recordings. We do those live shows via YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, and we encourage people to join in and engage in the conversations that we have as we discuss whatever topic or show episode of the Bad Batch or anything else that's going on at the time. So thanks to everyone again for listening. May the Force be with you, and we'll see you next week.
You're still listening? Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm here to give you the disclaimer. Normally we do a big, long, drawn-out disclaimer thing saying what's what and who's what and all that other stuff, but I think you guys kind of know that Lucasfilm and Disney have no affiliation with us at all, and we have none with them. We talk about Star Wars, which is their property, and all that other good, fun stuff, but I think you can tell which is our stuff and which is their stuff. If you can't, well, then send a lawyer to send an email to me, and I'll be glad to chat with them. Other than that, you know what's what, so that's your disclaimer.